You've come to the right place. It's the final session of Shoptalk TV Day 2. Up next, we have a conversation between Sarah Engel, President of January Digital, and Marielle Bobo, VP of Content for Shoptalk Spring and Shoptalk Fall.
Welcome to Shoptalk TV. I'm Marielle Bobo, the Vice President of Content for Shoptalk Spring and Fall, and I'm so excited because I'm joined here by none other than Sarah Engel, the President of January Digital.
Thank you for having me. I'm so glad to be here.
Thank you so much for joining us, Sarah. So I've got to ask you, because I'm a newbie to Shoptalk. This is my first Shoptalk Spring, and you are such an integral part of our company. You have been an advisor for many years. So what do you think it is about Shoptalk that just makes it new and exciting and fresh? You've been such a part of the brand for so many years.
Oh, that's so kind. And I'm so pleased that it has continued to grow into something that's so meaningful to people and makes so many connections for people. I think that the reality of why this has been such a special show is the content. I think that the team has been so protective of ensuring that we're having real conversations, getting to real points, talking about failures and not just wins. Putting people on stage who maybe normally would be seen as competitors. I think that having diverse voices on stage from different backgrounds and different perspectives, that has been such a key element and such a North Star that has never changed. I've been involved, I think, since the beginning for years, and that has never changed. And to see how much work that the Shoptalk team puts into that, and all the speakers and all the moderators, and really holding true to that, we're going to tell the truth, we're going to get up there and say something that is real, and that the primary goal is to leave the audience with something actionable. If you use those as your parameters and you keep iterating that forward, then everything else builds around that.
And I think also just it's such a fun event, right? So we're packed with learnings and insights, but then we also, we try not to take it so seriously. We also try to have fun.
It is Vegas.
And I think that it is Vegas, right? It is Vegas. So I think that mix of the two, I think, is what makes it such a must come to event.
It's interesting. I've talked to so many people over the years, but even in the last few days, where they're like, I wish the rest of my company was here. I wish that other people were here. Meaning they're getting so much out of it. They're learning so much so quickly that there's that element. And then, yes, there's also the social element, the networking that happens, the connections that are made that then for the months and years that follow, you now have this new network of people. So, and you're absolutely right. There is an element of that that's really fun.
Yeah. So what are some of the murmurings that you're hearing offline, right? There are all the sessions, and then there are the dinners and all the events offline. What are you hearing, just kind of walking the floor and going to other events outside of the shows?
I think everybody's having a lot of the similar types of challenges and struggles. I've seen that for the last few months, and it's just interesting to hear it come out. It's at such a height here where you're like, okay, the challenges are similar, the opportunities are similar. And by that, I mean, people are really focused on what their customer experience is, which can sound very vague. But in this case, it's literally, what does that look like in stores? How do we create a third space? How do we have this interactive element that adds something to their experience rather than makes it more difficult, which sometimes technology has done in the last few years? So from a store perspective, from a digital perspective, it's okay, we've evolved to this point where everybody expects that who I am, I already looked at white shoes. Why are you showing me black shoes? Right? I mean, it's that level of intimacy with your customer and what they expect. And so I think that has been something that's come out a lot. Is just that. It's a challenge, but I think people see it as an opportunity as well. I think the thing that is different about this show than even things that happened at the beginning of this year is that the AI conversation is quite different in the sense that it is not theoretical, and it is not just for the sake of one of my board members said I needed to look into this. It's how are we literally changing something about our customers' interactions with us, the way in which our workforce operates. It's very pointed right now. Which I think is an exciting evolution of that conversation. And so, I think that applies to a lot of areas. It absolutely applies to creative. Here, I'm having a lot of conversations about AI and creative, having a lot of conversations about search, what that means both on-site and off-site. There's a lot, and I'm speaking with Google tomorrow morning, so we'll hear their perspective. I'm hearing a lot of those conversations. So it feels much more actionable and real. I think we still have some time maybe by the fall show, maybe not till the show next year, where the examples are relevant and measurable, and people are really integrating anybody but the largest organizations are integrating in a deeper way. But those are some of the things I'm hearing and that people seem really excited about. And I think the most positive, there's certainly folks that don't lean that way, but the most positive are feeling like this is an opportunity to be so creative in this space. Like, if we went into retail, we likely love retail, and like the opportunity to let the things that can be automated so that you can get back to being really creative and having a more intimate relationship with your customers. Like, that's pretty special.
Yeah. And I love the session that you moderated yesterday with Coach and American Girl. And I think that really showcased how brands are really thinking creatively about their retail experience. And that was a really great session. I think that a lot of attendees would come away with so many insights around what they're doing and how they're thinking about the business.
Thank you. We had so much fun. Like, genuinely, I was like, I don't know if the audience had as much fun as we did. I think they did. I heard laughter, but it's so fun because they are doing things that haven't been done in retail.
They're really pushing the envelope.
They're using the technology to make a genuinely better and more meaningful and more exciting emotional experience for a customer. Like, that's pretty amazing. So Gio from Coach, I mean, they have done remarkable things. They made the Coach airline, and I think it's a 747. I don't know my airplanes, but this amazing. They have coffee shops. They have the Coach Play stores, which have and he was talking to us about the metrics. It's not just cool for the sake of being cool.
Exactly.
It's like the number of Gen Z people that have crossed the lease line are significantly more in those stores than other stores. So they're using that opportunity to like really create new experiences. And then American Girl.
I mean, who doesn't
love
love
American Girl? One example after another example after another, but like the salon in the store, not just for the doll, which used to be the case, but also for the little girl with the sparkles, and then they both get their ears pierced, and then they paint the tiny doll nails while they paint her nails. Like,
so it's this
amazing
kind of cross-generational conversation too that they're having, right, with American Girl.
Yes, and they were so open. I loved about that session, like, they genuinely love retail. They genuinely love their customers, and it shows. Like, right, they're really thinking through that lens. They, as do I, have a deep level of passion and respect for our store leaders. And I was just having a conversation about this yesterday with them, and I was like, we went through this phase pre-COVID where I think sometimes store associates, store managers were not at the top of the consideration list. People would sit at corporate. They wouldn't go work Black Friday, which I'm like, if I'm in a corporate, when I have been in corporate teams, we go work Black Friday. And then you went through COVID, and people really realized that losing that physical touch with the customer, the data only tells you so much.
Exactly.
Right. And at some point, the store manager's got to say, this is what's actually happening on the ground, or this is why they're not buying. Right? And data may tell you what they are buying, but why are they not buying?
Exactly.
Oh, it's because this fits in a different way, or whatever the case may be. So I love that there's been, and both Jamie and Gio are just such huge advocates for their store managers or regional managers, like, and they have a seat at the table. So I think that was also really special. It was a conversation about the stores and the customers, but it was also a conversation about like deep respect for our store teams.
And I love the idea that, it was two very different brands. Like, you have one in the luxury space, and then you have American Girl, and so it just, I think, shows the spectrum for how brands can really think differently no matter what kind of place you fall within the ecosystem. So,
well, and to bring those two questions that you just asked together, you're also in a situation, I've had a lot of conversations in the last few days about the economy and about consumers' response and the February results about the economy, and everybody's looking at those and going, how big of a deal is this? Is it going to even out? Are we talking 90 days or are we talking 9 months? And so that's been a lot of the conversations I've been having in general, but certainly here. And you look at, what are the things that people continue to buy when they feel a sense of instability or chaos? They go, I'm going to continue to buy groceries for my family. I'm going to do things that make me feel great, that maybe, entertainment with a low cost, right? Great, I'm going to do that. And I'm going to do things that have an emotional connection. I'm going to still have my daughter's birthday party at American Girl. Right? I'm not going to see it. It's her 6th birthday. Of course I'm having it, right? So like, I think there is something so special about both of those brands yesterday and where they have that place to tell that story. So I just think that's another, I didn't mention that earlier, but I've had that conversation many times about the economy the last few days.
So I have one last question I want to ask you. What are you most excited about learning this year from the show? I mean, there's so many sessions. We know that there are sessions, obviously, that you're moderating, but with all of the different panels and discussions that are happening, what are you most excited about kind of taking away from the show?
It's interesting. Gosh, there's a lot of things. I'm interested in what people get really excited about. I'm interested in the fact that you have a lot of VC folks here, a lot of people who are investing in different things, a lot of the technology folks here, right here on the floor, to see what other people are getting excited about and where we're leaning in and where those changes are happening. I've heard some phenomenal innovations in the supply chain that could save companies millions of dollars. That's interesting. It's not quite there. It's on the edge. So I'm always kind of listening for like what's on the edge. I think also search, both again on-site, off-site, but search has such an opportunity right now, and I think it's going to change a lot faster than we realize it is. So those are the things that I get excited about, and because Shoptalk has brands, partners, VC companies, you have investors, you have startups, it's such a broad range of everybody who touches this space that you really get a well-rounded perspective, and you can walk away and be like, like no matter how much I talk to people all the time. I talk to CEOs and founders, and yet it's your bubble always. And this just takes everybody out of their bubble, which I love. It
so
lets
many learnings.
I'm more interested in what people are excited by than what they're scared by. So that's just me, but I think that's what I'm most excited about.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. This has been an amazing conversation. And
thank you. We're so glad you're here. And it's been such a fun process to prep with you. I really appreciate your help.
Oh, thank you so much. And I can't wait for your session tomorrow.
Okay. Thanks.